and get started. This session is using Zoom for creating videos. Just some housekeeping things first. If you have questions, put them in the Q&A or the chat. Jennifer's going to keep an eye on those and will interrupt me if I'm talking about that same topic so I can elaborate, or we can get to Q&A at the end. This is the last webinar of the week, so we are going to keep it short. I know we're all tired and this topic doesn't really have a whole lot to it. One thing, sorry. One thing that's important about recording, no matter what you're using, is good lighting. So you want to be lit from the front so that you have a good lighting. So I will warn you, I don't have a great lighting in here. My office has automatic motion lights, so if I sit still for too long, it's going to go dark. So if that happens, don't be alarmed. I'll wave my hands and I'll be back to talk to you. So a question that you might ask is, why would I use Zoom to create an asynchronous video? We have Panopto. I attended that session earlier this week and it looks like a great tool. And the answer is you don't have to. If you're comfortable with Panopto, that is great. Zoom is just another tool that you can use to record a quick video. And so I will get right into that. So let me share my screen with you first. So let's talk about Zoom settings. So on your Zoom profile or website from smu.edu/Zoom, if you go to your settings, it takes you to your meeting settings, but then you have this recording tab. So if you want to be able to record to your machine, this will need to be on. If you want to be able to record to the cloud, you will need to have that turned on as well. You have a lot of options under cloud recording. So record active speaker with shared screen is typically what you would want. This would record the active speaker, which if you're in an asynchronous thing would be just you, and anytime you share your screen. Recording the gallery view would record multiple video feeds and your shared screen. And then you can record them as separate files, but I don't think you would want to do that unless you have some advanced editing software that you want to use. There are some other things here. If you are using an advanced editing software, you can optimize the recording for a third-party video editor, but that will make the file much larger and make it take a much longer time. You can set all of your meetings to automatically record, or hopefully you know that when scheduling a new meeting, you can set that specific meeting to automatically record either on the computer or in the cloud. Now, if you do this, know that it will begin recording as soon as the meeting starts. So if you're just doing an asynchronous meeting, I would probably not have this option on. So you can get started, check your lighting, check your audio, make sure you have everything that you want to share, and then press record when you're ready. So let me show you this. Because I'm in a Zoom session with you, you can't see my Zoom controls. But if you open the Zoom desktop app on your computer, you can always just start a new random meeting. You don't have to schedule one. And if you have ended class and you think, oh, there's something I should have told them, let me make a quick video, you can just click new meeting. It'll open you a meeting and you can record that. So once you're in the meeting, if you are worried that someone might enter the meeting and interrupt your recording, so if you're using maybe your class meeting or a meeting that you use regularly, like your personal meeting ID, you can lock the meeting so that no one else can enter. That's a good way to protect you from someone jumping into your recording, especially if it's like the 5th time you've tried and you finally got it perfect and then someone comes in. That would be a bummer. So once you're in the meeting, you click record, and then you can choose record to the cloud or record on this computer. So again, that's your choice. If you want to record on the computer, it will have to process and it will save to your local machine. You'll then have to decide how you want to share that. If you record to the cloud, it will go straight to the Zoom cloud. And if you have it linked to automatically record to Panopto, it will go there as well. And we'll talk about that some more at the end. So once you have started this recording, you have the option to stop it or pause it. So if you're in a meeting to get an asynchronous video created and you just do not like what you've done so far, which happens to me every single time I do that, you can stop it and then start another recording. It will save them all as separate recordings so that you can pick the one that you liked. Once you are in the meeting and it is recording, you will want to check to make sure that your audio is working. So you should know this, but when you're speaking in a Zoom meeting and you can see the taskbar, you'll see a green level moving up and down in your microphone. Another thing you can do is, could you see this earlier when I was sharing my screen? Jennifer?
I was seeing what you were, I was seeing Zoom.
Okay, okay. So here in your taskbar, you have your microphone icon. And when you are speaking, it moves up and down with a green level. So that's one good way to check that your audio is connected, because when you're doing an asynchronous video, obviously you don't have someone on the other end to say, hey, I can't hear you. So you can check that there. And this is where you would click record and choose. And if you didn't see this earlier, this is where you could click new meeting to start a new meeting. So once you're in the meeting, if you are just telling them something and you don't need to share your screen, you can just be speaking. It will capture only your video. So a couple things I want to show you about that. I'm going to share my whole screen so you can see this. So you should see now, and please confirm, not my email, I apologize. You should see my Zoom window here. That has my video settings. Yes?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So while you're in the meeting, if you click the arrow next to stop video, this will bring, and then video settings, this will bring you here. So some things that you can do when you're recording a meeting, you can enable HD. If I turn that off, you should see, you know, it just looks a little different. It will depend on your bandwidth though, your internet connection. So you can touch up your appearance. It just kind of makes you a little blurry, covers some blemishes, up to you if you want to do that. Those are really the only important ones for an asynchronous video. And in here, you can also test your microphone to make sure it's working. So as I'm speaking, the input level shows. One thing that might be fun or useful in an asynchronous video, if you want the quality to look good, but you're at home and behind you is a little, maybe your messy kitchen or whatever, you can choose a virtual background. So right now I have this one, I have it on for all of my meetings, but you can get creative with it. Zoom comes with some built in, but say you're teaching a history class and you want to give a lecture about World War II, you can put a video behind, or a virtual background behind you that shows this, or if you're teaching a computer science course or something. So you can have fun with that, make your videos pop using virtual backgrounds. Now this will depend on your computer settings, so you might not have that option. And I will show you one more thing about recording. Sorry, I keep going back and forth. So once you record to the cloud, if you don't have it linked to your Panopto, it will show on the Zoom website under recordings. You'll see your different files if you had more than one thing checked in those settings, and you can download it or you can share it, but keep in mind that Zoom cloud recordings only save for 30 days. If you save it to your computer, it will save in a folder on your computer called Zoom, and it'll have your meeting here with the file inside. That was just chat, but it'll have your meeting. These are a lot of chats. If you have your chat saved automatically, that will show up there as well. But if you have a recording, it would be in this folder. If you are ever unsure of where your recording is, you can go to those settings again and recording and change where they automatically store. You can also visit the Zoom website again, and under your recordings, there's an option for local recordings, and it will show you where on your computer and what computer you saved that local recording. So last thing before we open it up for full-on questions, if you have scheduled your Zoom meetings to automatically record to Panopto, once the meeting is over and has processed, it will show up in your Panopto folder that you've assigned it to, or if you just have it, everything go to my folder, it'll show up in Panopto. The title will be the meeting title, and you'll have all the information below so you know which one it was, meeting start, etc.
Could you get into that a little bit more? We've got a couple of questions for that one.
Absolutely. So do you want me to get into how you link it, or?
Right. Yeah, both of the questions are about how to do it.
Okay. So if you go to Panopto in your Canvas, or yeah, we'll just say that. If you go to Panopto in Canvas, let me move these videos out of the way. And you click on this pop-out icon that's beside the gear icon, it'll open our Panopto page. You can also go to smu.hosted.panopto.com, but if you're in Canvas, click on Panopto, click that pop-out. You'll click on your name at the top right and user settings. And this will open your information for Panopto. So you will have a default folder. And if you just leave this as your folder, so everyone has a my folder, this will save any meeting that you record to the cloud to your folder. You can then move them to a course folder or keep them to where they're only visible by you. Additionally, you can link a certain Zoom meeting to always go to a certain folder. So if you have scheduled your recurring Zoom meeting for the semester, you'll add new, you'll put in the meeting ID, which that's not an actual meeting, but you see what it looks like, and then you choose your folder. And you should see, if you have classes, you'll see. If you don't see it there, you can begin to type it in. And of course, I don't have multiple classes, so this is all I really have. But you type it in, you find that folder, and then you click save. Once you have linked this, you only link it once. Every time you record to the cloud in that Zoom meeting, it will automatically store to Panopto. So one thing that you might consider doing if you link those, and I do recommend linking them, it's super easy and very convenient, so you don't have to wait on that processing time. If you plan to record meetings that you think you want to check or edit or maybe not even have available to students until you approve them, let me go back to just in general. You'll go to Panopto in your Canvas course, and then the folder settings are this gear icon. And you can manage, where is it? Share, under share? No, it's under settings. Under settings, sorry. So gear icon, settings, and there is availability here. And if you change this to when approved by a publisher, that video will still go to your Panopto folder, but it won't be viewable by students until you click approve. And I can go through that again if I did that a little fast. Are there any other questions, or do you want me to go through that again? Or Jennifer, do you have any input on linking to Panopto?
I think we've seen some faculty that are trying this in lots of different ways. And so
Yes.
some faculty are wanting to just share the link to the recording. And you can do that with sections of your classes, or you can do that with just anyone in the organization with the link can view it. And then in other cases, we've got people moving the recording into the class folder directly. So I think once people find the way that works for them and the students know consistently where to find it, that's really all that matters.
Yes. Yes. So if once you have your videos, you can check the settings of who can view them by clicking share. And the default is specific people, which means only the people in this Canvas course. You can change that to anyone at your organization with the link, anyone at your organization, which will make it public. I've had a lot of faculty say, when I go to Panopto, I see all these different videos and I don't want other people seeing my videos. And that's because they have set those videos to anyone at your organization. Or you can change it to anyone with a link, which means if you have this long link, you can view it regardless of if you're in my Canvas course or not. So some people are using this link and then sharing it with students. Lots of options there for you, but the default is specific people, only those in your Canvas course. Okay, so there's a question about publication. So let me just go ahead and change mine to, so settings, only when approved by a publisher. So I'm not sure if that will do that with meetings. I've already it might only take to meetings that I haven't already had on here, but you'll see a little thing here that says approve once you set it to only once approved by a publisher. And then if we want to talk just quickly, I know there was a session on Panopto earlier this week, but because the easiest way to share Zoom recordings with your students is through this Panopto link, I just want to reiterate that you can edit your videos. So especially if you do want to set it so that you have to approve before students can view. If you want to edit your videos, that's just through edit. You can crop sections out. Say you have your Zoom meeting start and the first 10 minutes are just kind of everyone getting ready. You can highlight that and cut. You can also edit your captions. Just they become text boxes and you can change what they say. I see some questions coming in. Will a class Zoom recording include both the chat results and the contents of the Q&A? So no, the recording will not include the chat. If you have it set to save the chat, that will save to your computer and to your Zoom cloud as a text file, but it's not on the recording and it's not viewable by the students.
You know, we've had, and there hasn't been this question here yet, but I've been hearing it a lot as we've been wandering in buildings and showing faculty to their rooms. What are some ways that you've seen that people can take attendance on Zoom?
Okay, so unfortunately I can't show you this because mine looks a little different because I'm a Zoom admin, but on Zoom, to take attendance for the people that are on Zoom, if you go to reports, which I can at least kind of show you what it might look like. Second. So you log into the Zoom, SMU Zoom website, and you will have a tab in the left-hand side that says reports. Once you click on that to take attendance, your next click will be usage, and that will give you a list of all of your meetings that have occurred in the selected date range. You can go back 12 months. You can go back 12 months, I believe. I think it used to be 100 days and now it's 12 months. So you'll have a list of all your meetings. Your participant number will be a hyperlink that you can click on. That will open a document or open a screen that has every attendee, when they entered and when they exited. And one question that comes up with that is if someone has to leave and then they join again. So they'll just be twice. So it would say Faye entered at 2:55 and left at 3:05, and Faye entered at 3:06 and left at 4. You can also export that as a CSV file. So that would be the easiest way. Other ways that aren't as automatic could be asking all of your students when they arrive to type something in the chat, and then when that chat text is saved, you'll have a record there. You could also do a poll or take a screenshot of your participant list. Lots of ways, but I think the report is the most straightforward, automatic way to find out who was in your Zoom session. I can actually pull one up. If we have some more questions while I'm getting to this, let me know. And at this point, you know, I've talked about how to record in Zoom for an async video. So if you just have other general Zoom or Panopto questions, just ask away. Okay, so I can share this with you now. Sorry for that delay. So once you go to reports and usage, you will see a list of your meetings. It won't have as many fields on here as mine does, but you'll see a list of your meetings, and you see this participants number is a link. So when I click on that, it tells me all of my people, what time they joined and what time they left. And then I can export this as a CSV and it downloads to my computer.
And how long do the reports stay in Zoom?
I believe it's a year. Let me see. Yep, the reports can be retrieved for the last 12 months with a search range of up to 1 month at a time. So you can search from like January 1st to January 31st, but you can search 12 months back. Okay, so I just got, would you go over how to link Zoom to Panopto again? Yes. Okay, and another question before I get to that, will class Zoom recording include the contents of the Q&A? If not, how do I access URLs that were posted both during live and after? So class meetings won't have a Q&A, but they will have a chat, and you can save that as a text file. You can save it automatically in your Zoom settings, or you can save it manually through the chat. There will be an icon that says save chat. So let me pull up Zoom and Panopto again, 1 second. So once I have built my Zoom meeting, I have my recurring meeting, so I know my meeting ID. I can go in my Canvas course to Panopto. And then if I click this pop-out button that's to the right of the gear icon, that will take me to my main Panopto page. So clicking on your name and then user settings, so that's at the top right, name, user settings. This will show you your information for your linking Zoom to Panopto. So one way to do it is to just link your default folder to My Folder. Everyone on Panopto has a My Folder, and that's where you can have videos that are only accessible by you. Once they are in My Folder, I will show you this really quickly. So we'll pretend, I don't think I have anything in My Folder, but we'll pretend this is My Folder. So if you have it all in your folder and you want to change that to being in the courses folder, you can go to settings and you'll see the folder here, edit, and then you'll choose the folder for your course where you want to send that video. So that's way one. Another way is you can link the meeting ID of your Zoom meeting to the specific folder so that it goes there directly. And that will be on this page under your name and user settings. Click Add New. This is where you would type in the meeting ID. I will note if you have copied and pasted, you have to remove the spaces. And then you find your folder here. If you don't see it, begin typing the name of your course and it should show. If you still don't see it, I've seen this happen, you can drill down into SMU and then your college and you'll eventually find your folder. You'll only see ones that belong to you, so it should be easy to find. Once you click save, every time you record to the cloud in that meeting ID, it will go directly to that folder. And again, if you don't have specific meeting IDs set, when you record to the cloud on any of your Zoom meetings where you are the host, it will go to your default folder. And then we have a question to go over how to embed a Panopto video on a Canvas page. So I think there might be more than one way to do this, and Jennifer, you can tell me if there's a better way. But I think the easiest way is, I don't even have a single page in here. Okay. Oh yes, I do. They're just hidden. Okay, if I'm adding a page and I go to this plugin icon here, if you don't see it, it will be under the three dots and then more. So if I go to the plugin icon and I select Panopto, I can choose which folder I'm looking for the video in. My videos will be here. I select the one I want, and then I click Insert. And that puts the video into my page. And now, Jennifer, if you have a better way or another way.
Nope, that's exactly how I do it.
Okay. And then I have another question. Can both my TA and I be the admins or moderators? Can you let me know if you're talking about on Zoom meetings or something else? Zoom. Okay. Yes. So you can make your TAs co-hosts of your Zoom meetings. There are two ways to do this. And before I tell you how, I will tell you that if you want to do this for breakout rooms, co-hosts cannot control breakout rooms, only hosts can. And it is a pain for some people, but you can add your TAs. So one way, which I can't show you right now, but I can tell you. So if your TA has joined the meeting, in your participants list, you'll see their name. you can hover over them and say more, and then make co-host. So that is one way to make someone a co-host while they are in the meeting. But if you want to set up someone as a co-host while scheduling your meeting, this will give them co-host permissions, and it will allow them to start the meeting for you if you're not there yet. So when you're building your meeting, you go through all this, you have your recurring meeting that is on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, etc. At the bottom, you have the option for an alternative host. It will have to be their SMU email address and not the @mail, but just SMU. And they will have to have a Zoom account on our SMU account for this to work. So if they don't have one, make sure they get one. Just go to smu.edu/Zoom and sign in. But you can add their email address here. So I'll add Jennifer as my alternative host here. And then that means that she is the co-host of this meeting. She can run it, everything except breakout rooms. Are there any other questions? I know we've strayed from our main topic, but since this is the last session of the week, why not just have it be a wrap-up overview, full Q&A of anything that you guys need to know. Okay, so the question is, how do I access URLs that were posted in Q&A both during live and after? Do you mean for these specific webinars, or in general if someone posts something in the chat during a Zoom meeting? That's saying yes. Okay, great. So for these webinars, at least for the ones that we had in May, we also included a resource page with the recording. So you'd have the recording of the webinar and a resource page with links to anything that was mentioned. So I believe we'll do that again. For Zoom meetings, you can save the chat. You can manually save it in the chat box inside your Zoom meeting, or you can set your settings so that your meeting chat is saved after every meeting. So once the meeting ends, it will save to your computer and it will be accessible on the Zoom website for 30 days only. So regular meetings don't have Q&A. What the question was, am I talking about both chat and Q&A? Only webinars have Q&A. Regular meetings only have chat. So you shouldn't have to worry about saving a Q&A for a class meeting. And again, the things that have been mentioned and shared and links and whatnot in the Q&A in these webinars should be available as resources on the Keep Teaching site. So again, this topic was about using Zoom to create asynchronous videos. You can start a random meeting, you can start a scheduled meeting, you can record to your computer, you can record to the cloud, you can record straight to Panopto. And it's just another way that you can record a video for your students or for your colleagues. I actually do it a lot when someone asks me, how exactly do I do this? Instead of sending them written out instructions, I'll start a Zoom session, share my screen, have my microphone on, talk through how to do it, and just send them the video. So it's a great quick tool to make asynchronous videos for people to watch later. Okay, so this is another question about Zoom and Canvas. If you have set up recurring meetings and have Zoom links on Canvas, if you choose in settings require passcode, can students enrolled in the class just click on join meeting and not enter a passcode? Yes. So the way the passcode works, if someone were to type in the meeting ID, they would then need the passcode. But if you click the link, the passcode is embedded and you are just one click to enter. Now, I have been telling everyone that I speak to, you should put a passcode on your class meetings. And that is because on September 27th, which is in the middle of the semester, Zoom is changing their security settings, which will require either a passcode or a waiting room on your meeting. A waiting room in a class might get lost time with you having to admit people. Someone might get left in the waiting room and miss something important. So because that passcode still is just one click to join, that's why I recommend the passcode. You should have one or the other, because on September 27th, if you don't have a passcode, a waiting room will be automatically enabled on your meeting, and that is a Zoom thing, not an SMU thing, Zoom worldwide. Another question, I'm assuming Zoom videos uploaded to Panopto were automatically captioned. Yes. So just the way if you make a video in Panopto or upload a video to Panopto, the Zoom to Panopto integration works the same way with captions. They are automatically captioned. It is not 100% accurate. It's not even 90% accurate. There is a way to edit those. I have not, which Jennifer, I've been asked this a lot, and I have not found a way to turn off the auto caption. I do know how to delete the captions. We have some world languages people that speak a different language where the captions are just not useful at all.
Turning it on is in the recording settings. And
Okay.
it's something that you can click. So I hope we can unclick it too. I don't know that that's one of the updates that became permanent or not.
Okay. Did that answer your question though about captions?
And those are the Zoom ones that are made, but Panopto does auto caption inside
Yes.
Panopto as well. And those can be fixed. I mean, those can be edited inside Panopto to make it more accurate.
Yes.
And if it's a different language, you can also upload a transcript and
Yes.
replace the auto captions with the upload.
Yeah, and I can show that really quick. So once you have your, leave. Once you have your video, oh, okay, so now it did change these to waiting for approval. So if you have this set to where you have to approve first, you see waiting for approval and students can't see it. If you go to manage, settings, and then manage. Okay, that's not where it is. Jennifer, do you know where it is? I always forget.
The captions?
No, the approval.
Oh, the approval is in.
Here it is.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have it set, since I didn't get to show this earlier, if you have it set to where you have to approve first, settings, and it's just in the overview right here, cancel, approve, or reject. And if you approve it, then it becomes available for students. So if you wanted to set it so that you edited the captions before they could see it, you could come in, edit the captions, and then they could see it. Okay, so if you want to edit your captions from the video, I just chose edit. And then in the left-hand side, I choose captions. Each caption line becomes a text box that I can change. And when I click on that box, it takes me to that part in the video. I can play it, listen to it, make sure it has the right thing, change the text here, and then I just click apply. And once I do that, my captions have been edited. If you speak another language that you just don't want to even deal with editing the captions, which we have a lot of people asking about, if you go to settings and captions, you'll see your captions are default here. You can delete them, or if you have a transcript that is more accurate, you can upload a new set of captions. All right. All right, so this is the last one of the week, so I guess we don't have to end in 4 minutes, but I think we're all pretty tired and ready to finish off our week with, that's I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. My brain
You're
is.
fine. You're fine. We only have one question left, and that was
Okay.
if you're setting up recurring meetings and you have a Zoom link in Canvas, if you require a passcode, can they just click on the join meetings and not enter the passcode?
Yes. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. And some more come in. And you are welcome. Thank you all for everything, for being here, and for everything that you do.
Yep. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Yes.
Reach out if you need anything, and we'll be wandering our spaces throughout the week next week.
Yes.